But what else has been happening, man? Everything been okay at Happy Cream?
Yeah, actually, since the second wave, we have been trying to downsize. Reason being, we do not have enough team workers to work for us. I mean, we've been trying to get hold of the locals, so we have been having difficulties doing that to sustain. I think one of the reasons is because the market is opening up.
Yeah,
kids are going over to studies, so they would love to try to continue their studies. I think most of our part-timers are with those finishing A levels.
Okay.
And, so, and then we're also we are partnering up with, I think I should tell you this, if you know Fakri from Top Folk.
Yes. Okay. Oh, I've never met him. I know of him, but I've never met him.
So when I started Happy Cream, I think Fakri is the very, very first person and food F&B outside of ice cream to support us.
Okay.
And to ask us to supply them, I mean, the ice cream to be used as milkshake. So we are like, this is our first collaboration. We didn't know how to charge them.
Yeah.
We didn't even know what are we supposed to do. And we say, just take the ice cream and use, right?
Yeah.
And it got such a good review. He helped us to boost. So he used to have a sort of like a container store in Brebi.
I remember that. I never got to visit, but so many people talked about it.
So he is, so I would like to say that probably he started earlier than me.
Okay.
And I think we are probably the only vendors or entrepreneurs that's left since then. Wow. The rest has moved on. Either they stopped business
and moved on to something else.
So this is something that we have never imagined. We even talk about getting food trucks together and doing food truck festival.
That's such a cool idea, right?
That was 5 years ago. And he got his food truck and it got delayed somehow. And then finally,
there's a lot of different restrictions, hurdles when it comes to food trucks in Brunei.
Yeah.
Trailers is possible, but food trucks is a whole different story, correct?
Yeah, so you need to have a lot of permits, license, and you need to get the right person to do it. So I think it stops me from venturing into that. But he's definitely one of the first one to do that. So so he is asking if he could pop by at Happy Cream. I told him I'm more than happy for you to use my kitchen.
Yeah.
So I hope this is going to be a permanent thing.
Yeah. Was this a recent sort of?
So he is starting renovation. Hopefully we get to get it going by next year. So you get to eat Top Folk burger and ice cream at Happy Cream. Yeah. So this is something that we hope that it will last longer than it should, because I think collaboration is the next business model to go.
Yeah.
I can't do everything. Yeah. I need to get the experts to come in. So
we're just talking about that.
Yeah, we're just talking about it. So I mean, I'm very willing to let him use our space.
Yeah.
His customers and my customers are very likely going to share the same likes. So that is
same tastes.
That's something that I'm looking forward to.
That's definitely something I've been, I think over the last few years, something I've been more open to. And I was a guy who used to work things solo, like I got to do this myself. I got to do all this myself, And then I think over time, I realized spending is on people who are experts at things that I'm not good at isn't an expense. It's actually an investment to make your product better. That's why I work with Yaya, who's our producer.
Yeah.
That's why I work with Anas, who's our behind-the-scenes tech guy.
Yeah.
And I really feel it's things like that help elevate your product and reach more people.
I think the first I replied to Nadia, I was like, finally, this is happening. Yeah. I remember when you told me about this, I was still at Jab, and you were talking about, if you could. I said, I would love to. I mean, like that's right. That is also the time that I started listening to podcasts. I think it's because of COVID. Yeah. This type of business flourish. Yeah. People stay at home. They listen to they took care of their body.
There's just so much TV you can watch, right?
Yeah. And like I said, driving. I think commuting. I only listen to basketball podcasts because that is something that I would love to do when I'm done with all the F&Bs, all the fun. And my kids are gonna grow up one day. I'm gonna find something so that I could do when I'm getting older. Yeah, definitely not being in the kitchen, but something my passion is to coach.
Yeah.
Coach basketball.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no clue.
So I look up to you as a coach, as a fitness coach. I was just telling Daisy,
Your wife.
why you stop going back? Yeah, why you stop going back to 673? I mean, like, not trying to, but not because Nazri left.
I don't want to say
I mean, I'm not saying the other coaches are not that. I'm just so used to you.
Yeah.
I'm used to you pushing. I'm used to you encouraging. I'm used to you teaching me the techniques that I've done wrong and, getting me to get it right and, pushing me to go further. That was just after a nice workout.
Yeah.
So I remember I was dying. I was going to throw up. You were saying, Kong, you're right. I said, I look at you. I cannot say I'm not all right. I said, yeah, I'm good. And that feeling is like I'm looking forward to every class. I told Daisy one day, I'm gonna make sure I'm fit so that Nazri doesn't ask me that question. Kong, are you all right?
Oh, Kong.
But I think it didn't happen because, ever since then, I put on so much weight and I blame Daisy because she's going on her 4th pregnancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I need to accompany her to eat. So,
of course.
Yeah, I need to drive her around to eat. I cannot let her drive alone and eat and vomit in the car. So I need to be the driver and it's a bit awkward if I'm not eating, right?
And honestly, Kong, it's all just ebbs and flows, right? There's highs, there's lows. They're just different things. And that's what makes the journey exciting. Because if it was just smooth sailing all the way, if we were just cruising all the way, we'd get a false sense of confidence of being able to crush everything that we do. And I'm going to tell you a secret, Kong.
Uh-huh.
I ask, are you all right, to a lot of people, regardless how fit or not fit they are. But I'm glad it had a bit of an effect on you. That was very kind of you to say. I never knew, as a coach, I just wanted to sort of help people get fit and all that stuff. But that I don't hear that often, and that really means a lot. Thank you, my guy.
There's more to that. I was like, I remember in my very first CrossFit lesson.
Yeah.
Oh, this is tearing up because it was like so long. It is actually the same time that I started my business. The reason why I joined CrossFit is because I want to make Happy Cream. I want to have the energy to do Happy Cream because back then it was all myself. Mm-hmm. So Dan introduced me to CrossFit. So I was just looking at his videos through Instagram. I was like, hey, what sports are you doing? Yeah. I've never heard of CrossFit before. I just came back from Singapore. So I was doing basketball and on weekly playing sessions. It's like,
I remember you used to show up in your basketball jerseys all the time, and I'm like, all right, I see you, my guy.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this is cool and fun. I went to gym. I know how to do push press and stuff like that. But the rest is cute, right? Yeah. I mean, like I could lift heavy, but this is not about heavy. It's about stamina. It's about planning.
Like all in one.
You can't just go all out in the first 10 reps and then just.
We've seen that happen way too much, right?
That was me all the time, and I think that helped me out in building not only my stamina but also our strategy in business as well. You can't just go all out in the very first phase, but you're just gonna plan it, calm it, and make sure that you have things going on all the way. I think that alone, planning CrossFit, really helped me in terms of Happy Cream, our life. Not only that, I'm talking about my family. I mean, like we're having our 4th one right now. I mean, like we are looking forward to it. Yeah. But also you got to start planning ahead, right? Yeah. So and the whole reason that we are still in Brunei. The reason why I'm saying that because we have had plans to migrate. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like it's not that Brunei is not good. It's just that me and Daisy would love to see what's the world outside. Definitely. And then we want to come back and see what we can do to support and help Brunei and things like that. For sure, man. That is something that we aim to do, definitely for our kids. Yeah. I mean, like my kids is growing up and I want them to see a different side of the world. Yeah. Definitely, hopefully I can grow up with them. I don't want to send them away just for tertiary studies and let them learn it the hard way. But if I'll be there, I'll be enjoying the scenery. I'll be enjoying the time with them, being a daddy with them in Australia. I'll also be sipping coffee. There'll be
Is that where you guys are hoping to migrate to?
Yeah, that's I'm going to one of your the place where you study. So Australia, right?
Melbourne.
Yeah. So that is where we are planning.
Wow.
Yeah, we are probably looking into Canberra because Daisy got her masters in Canberra, and we really love that.
Okay.
We love that place. We love that. We love how quiet it is.
Yeah.
We love how Brunei-ish it is.
Yeah.
In Canberra, and we love how sometimes you could get all of the things in Brunei.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is something that we are looking forward to.
Yeah.
But it's still in the planning. We are not looking at like probably in the next 5 years. We'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Finger
That'd be pretty
crossed
cool.
that it doesn't go away after I share it. But
Yeah.
I mean, like, this is something that we are definitely looking forward to.
Cool, man. Kong, I'm just going to move that mic to you just a little bit closer, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know if you realized, but we've been recording already.
Yeah, I know. I saw that blinking. So, yeah.
But Kong, before we go on with the rest of your story, we've definitely dropped a couple of hints about what you do and what you dabble in.
Yeah.
But in your own words, Kong, and I find this really interesting how people sort of describe themselves and what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But in your own words, who are you and what do you do?
Oh, well, I like to be known as Kong. I mean, my Chinese name is Zhong An. I think my secondary school friends would call me that, but I think most of the my friends nowadays would just call me Kong. I'm a secondary school science teacher. I'm also working for my wife because both of the business that we run, it's from her.
Yeah.
And we had these dreams of doing everything together. Starting an ice cream business, it's something that we never thought it would be.
Yeah.
And we are glad that we are able to achieve what Happy Cream has reached up to today. And the main reason that the both of us would like to start off being entrepreneurs is because we want to spend more time with our family.
You get to be together and while you build the business and stuff like that. And that's a nice touch. Yeah. A lot of people know you, from the brand. They know you from the chain of stores, the ice cream that is Happy Cream. Easily my favorite ice cream in Brunei. I'm telling you right now, this is not me blowing, smoke up your butt. This is me telling you, like, I genuinely enjoy Happy Cream. Now, my question for you is, I know the story, Kong, but I want the listeners to know, how did Happy Cream start?
Well, it all started with we wanted to make teh tarik ice cream.
Oh, it was specifically teh tarik ice cream.
Specifically teh tarik because we couldn't find any of that flavors in Brunei. And when we started making a business, it is more of making sure that we could give Bruneians a variety of flavors. And so that's why we decided to, hey, let's go and get it, give it a try. And we really want to see how it could impact Bruneians. And back then, we were really doing our own thing. We don't even know if there is any local ice cream businesses. In fact, there was one before us, and we didn't know about it. So, but if you really want to look at it, it is different because they're gelato, we are ice cream. So,
the shop that must not be named.
Oh, okay. We're good friends. I mean, like
Rumah Gelato, right?
Yeah. Dini and I, we're pretty close friends. So I mean, like we didn't know that it happened like this, but all we want to do is to provide different flavors to Bruneians, hopefully local ones. I remember starting trying out teh tarik, Earl Grey, which is still
that's
today
one of my favorites.
My favorite, yeah. And I remember buying our ice cream. Sorry, I remember buying Haagen-Dazs, Ben and Jerry's, and put our ice cream together and get friends in to do some blind testing.
Wow.
So I'll be sharing this. My friends couldn't even know that ours is actually not Haagen-Dazs.
Yeah.
They thought ours is the Haagen-Dazs. I blame it to the shipping because when you bring in Haagen-Dazs back then, I think the Haagen-Dazs ice cream has some ice in them because it's melted and then you refreeze it. So the texture isn't as good. So we managed to so-called replicate after so many trials and errors to hit that texture that we want. So our friends were very surprised that the one that they like is actually our ice cream, but not Haagen-Dazs.
So if we take a step back there, I know you guys actually had an ice cream machine at home.
Yeah.
This is ground zero. This is where it all began. Was it just you guys bought an ice cream machine for fun? What was the deal? Like you always thought that you wanted to run an ice cream business? What was the deal?
No, it wasn't. Nazri, this is not cheesy, but this is just love story. You know, Daisy and I has been dating since 2002. So this year is our 20th year. So we are high school lovers. I was 17, she's 15. So when I moved over to Singapore to study, she was in Australia. She was in Perth. So, you know, one day she popped by Coles and she saw ice cream machine.
Yeah.
She thought, hey, we could make some ice cream when we got married, right? And, you know, we could get some waffles in and then we can have ice cream pairing with waffles. You know, this is not cheesy doozy, but this is our love story.
Yeah.
So she bought the ice cream machine and got back to Brunei. We got married in 2013 and she started making ice cream every weekend.
Wow.
She's the one doing it. I'm not the one doing it. And I will pop into the kitchen.
Yeah.
I will scrutinize her steps because I'm a science teacher.
Yep.
I'm from the lab. So I know that you must do certain things certain way, the SOP. And, you know, the calibration and stuff like that. When the recipe say a pinch of salt, I don't know what is a pinch of salt. I know what is half tablespoon of salt, right?
How many grams do we need to put in?
That we are talking about?
Consistency.
that is the secret to our success, right?
You can't say we put love in this.
I say I don't want to do anything about your procedure, so I'll just take a look and then I'll step out. Right, so she's been making teh tarik ice cream. I remember the very first one, and she's been making basil ice cream because we grew basil and some herbs at our backyard.
I don't think I've ever tried that.
Yeah, we have never tried it because we stopped. Our basil died, so we didn't. We used real basil plants. So I remember still in my previous job, I made some basil ice cream for my manager, and he really likes it. So
is that like a vanilla based with a hint of basil? Is that how it?
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to just imagine. Because basil is what do we usually put in pasta or pizza?
It is more like mint ice cream, but it has that basil tint in it. So we really loved it, and so it's still not me. It's all Daisy. It's not me yet. Okay. And then Daisy then was still working for the government. Mm-hmm. So then came one day. We thought, you know, we had our first child. We thought, you know, we are not spending enough time together. With the family. So we are saying, is it time to take the step? Yeah. Leap of faith. And we did. She quit, I quit, and we started to do Kumon together.
Okay.
Yeah. So at the same time, we thought
do you mind me asking what was Daisy's background? What was her job?
She was doing economics. So she was in JPKE.
Oh, so she knew all the numbers, she knew all that stuff, and you were the brains behind the education and all that stuff.
Up to today, she's managing the accounts and stuff. Wow. So I'm just going to the kitchen. Yeah. She's doing all the calculation of our costs and stuff. Okay. She's the me person. She's the brain behind all this.
So you guys quit the job. Mm-hmm. You guys decided to start Kumon. Yeah. Now I think a lot of people will usually ask, like, "Hey, like, what's a thing that made you realize, okay, it's safe for us, especially with a kid? You had a kid at the time already. Yeah. What gave you confidence to say, okay, let's quit the job, let's try to pursue Kumon? For the people out there, real quick, could you just break down what Kumon is?
Oh, it's actually an after-school program for young children to learn math and English. Okay. So we wanted to start, and we have confidence that it will work because back then Brunei doesn't have any of this, and when we started, we are still the second franchise to start. So we thought, you know, we could have more time to spend time with our kid. And at the same time, both of us growing together. I mean, because we have been in long distance relationship all the while since we graduated. So I thought this is a good time for us to work together and live together. I think it works. It works so well that Daisy was like, hey, do you think we should give it a try on our ice cream business?
Yeah.
So we can run to hand in hand together. So I questioned her. I said, so you are going to make the ice cream, right? Because you have been in the kitchen. She said, do you want to come and try? I said, if you're going to ask me to try, there's going to be a lot of things that I want to change. And are you happy about that? She said, yeah, I'm okay.
Did you know what that,
I didn't know. I didn't know, Nazri. So I've been telling, and this is the real story. I've been telling my friends, I say, ever since then, Daisy didn't step into the kitchen anymore.
Wow. It's like she planned it all along.
I don't know. Well, I mean, like, she understood about the SOP, but she, sometimes she just didn't want to do it. She said, you can do it. Yeah. So ever since I've took over, so we started from getting a few freezers, getting the ice cream churner, and we started our very first Instagram, WhatsApp business.
Yeah.
And I would say in the first few months, we were so busy because Kumon only opens for 4 days a week.
Yeah.
The remaining 3 days, I was making ice cream. And I was making ice cream in the time of like up to 12 hours.
Wow, a genuine day job.
Yeah. So I was surprised.
Actually longer than a regular day job. 12 hours in a day, yeah.
So shouldn't we be spending more time with my family?
Yeah.
Why am I doing Kumon and the other days I'm making ice cream? But we were happy.
And I think at the end of the day, knowing why you want to do a certain thing and how you feel accomplishing or doing the certain thing really dictates success. I think some people would look at it and be like, you're working 12 hours a day and you're happy, and you're like, yeah. Knowing why you want to do things, I think is one of the big key things, right?
Our goals is like to hopefully make it a part-time thing.
Yeah.
And then Kumon will be the main thing. To the point that we are not chasing money. We didn't do a lot of Instagram promoting and stuff like that. And it's just through word of mouth. And our logo is just MS Word logo. Yeah, I remember Daisy was just putting everything together. Yeah. So, and then it comes the day, I think we started everything in our kitchen in 2015. That was, I think, sometime around October 2015. Yeah. Wow. So after selling from Instagram, joining events, doing Shini's event, I think Shini has been a great supporter in us and great believer in us as well. So,
because I remember Mo would always order Happy Cream if there were any get-togethers at the box. I remember, giving you a shot and be like, hey, can we get 2 tubs? And then you'd actually deliver straight to my place, which I thought was really cool. And it was just, oh man, like I think it's so cool to sort of see you guys start from where you guys did to where you guys are now.
Yeah.
And I've always been such a big fan of the story. I think you guys it wasn't a hard sell. You know what I mean? It was one of those moments where I really felt your product spoke for itself. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what do you think sets, your ice cream apart from any of the brands out there? You've seen the Haagen-Dazs, you've seen the Ben & Jerry's, and we do have a lot of local brands as well.
Yep.
But, what do you think sets it apart? Like I'm obviously, I know for a fact, competition isn't your deal. I'm not, in terms of a market as small as Brunei, it's too small, I think, for us to have beef, to try to squash everyone out. So I really feel it's all about what can you bring to the table and what can you do to elevate the industry? In your own words, what do you think sets you apart from everyone else?
I would say it's consistency, quality product.
That's scientist, man.
Yeah, we have been using real product. So I think that's what set us apart, and it's artisanal ice cream. So we don't produce in huge batches. Yeah. It is always in smaller batches. Yeah. And when I say smaller batches, we used to produce like 5 pints a day. But right now the production is like 200 pints a day.
Oh my gosh.
That is still smaller batches.
Okay.
Yeah, but because we make sure that everything is carefully measured, it's carefully added, and we are using the best ingredient we could get in Brunei. Yeah,
and also I think when you said you were using, because this just shows how much of a fanboy I am. Right? So you guys say that you use real ingredients. You guys are importing the best vanilla beans from Madagascar.
Yeah.
When it comes to seasonal, you guys actually try to do a seasonal twist on all your flavors. When it's durian season, it's durian season.
Yeah.
You know, and I really think it's things like that keeps everyone on their toes, but also keeps them wanting
I'm gonna
more.
be clear. That was all Happy Cream. We're trying to impress all our customers.
Yeah.
So we have been changing flavors. We have been trying to get our customers to know that we are accommodating. We are updating our flavors to the point that there was one of the day I was just like, hey, we have about 40 flavors.
Yeah.
We can't be producing so many and be selling that many flavors. A lot of them are going to go into wastage. So Daisy and I had disagreements because in her mind, we should be refreshing our, getting new flavors in, keeping people fresh.
You mean on top of the new flavors or rotating flavors?
On top of
okay.
So we should be getting more and more new flavors so that people find, to the point that I was like, Daisy, I don't think so, Daisy. I mean, like that was the real argument ever since we started Happy Cream. I think that we should stick to what our customers tell us. They are coming back for the same old flavors they want.
Yeah.
And shouldn't we be making that? Because one of the goals of Happy Cream is we want to be in Brunei for a long, long time. So that is one of the goals that we started the business. If we are able, let's say if you are coming in today, 10 years later, you're coming in again. We want you to taste the same Earl Grey that you're tasting 20 years ago.
So the last time I went to Happy Cream was a couple months ago. I brought the whole team, our whole production team, for dinner. And then I said, hey, let's all go for dessert. And we all decided to go to Happy Cream. And I go to Happy Cream, and you're right. I always get the same flavors, right? I rotate. There are a few. I've got the Earl Grey, which I really like. The coconut. As well as the chocolate orange. Yeah. So those are the three I rotate through all the time. I mean, I will take samples of new flavors, but my heart just always go, if chocolate orange there, chocolate orange is top of the list, man.
So I wasn't trying to prove Daisy that, hey, you see, I'm right. But the thing is, if we're gonna keep up, I think in Brunei, we should listen to what our customers are telling us. Definitely we're coming out with new flavors, but it's not at the rate of like new and new, chasing it all the time. So I mean, like, there are a lot of customers who are just coming back for our old school because they like Happy Cream. They feel that they are satisfied when they have Happy Cream. So it's like a feeling
It's consistent.
It's happy. So people are asking, why am I making ice cream? I mean, like, when you're sad, you eat ice cream. When you're happy, you eat ice cream.
I've done that way too many times, Colin, when my heart has been broken.
When you celebrate, you eat ice cream. Whatever you want to do, you eat ice cream. It will make you happy. So I think this is something that we want to share, and definitely one of the goals to start the business.
So if you don't mind me asking, the strategy, I'm guessing, I think the middle ground, I think that helps both you and Daisy in terms of the ice cream business. Because I think there's a lot of people when they do businesses like this, and stuff like that, they sometimes think more is best, right? There are some people also who stick to one certain thing and never revamp anything else. But what I see, you correct me if I'm wrong, is when I step into Happy Cream, there's a certain number of core flavors, and then there is a mix of flavors which are rotated throughout the year, depending on the season, depending on the time of year and all that stuff. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that is what we want to do, and I thought that has been working well for us. Why change something that has been working so well, right? So definitely, we are looking at getting new flavors in. And recently we had a vanilla issue. We couldn't get our bins in. The last time that we got in, I think the custom stops our bin.
No.
Yeah, so vanilla bin is pretty difficult to get now. And I tried to get suppliers from KK.
Yeah.
And we couldn't get any because apparently it's all sold out as well.
Wow.
To the point that I was like thinking, should I switch to farming and farm vanilla beans?
Yeah,
because,
that might be a thing, man.
I mean, like, I'm urging all Bruneians. I mean, like, vanilla beans is a very expensive crop.
This is why you're
yeah.
a better businessman than I am, Kong. I'm going to tell you right now. Like, if me, I was like, because my immediate thought was like, I guess we have to stop making vanilla now. And your first thought was, I think I should go into farming vanilla beans. So this is, it just shows the two different style of mindsets that we have going on. You know, so it started from the kitchen, which I loved. It was a love story. Started into a kitchen. It grew from the fact that you guys just wanted to spend more time together. You guys wanted to develop things together, as if juggling a child wasn't enough already.
Yeah.
What made you decide? Because I remember you guys were doing pop-ups. You guys were doing deliveries. What made you finally decide to open up a physical store? If I'm not mistaken, the first one was in the mall.
Yes.
So what made you decide, finally say, you know what? Because I feel, I correct me if I'm wrong again, your business was flourishing already. You know, I was like, I don't think he even needs to open up. But I'm sure you had your reason. But what made you feel like it was time, and what made you feel like you needed to open up a physical store?
This is again another story, but it's real. Daisy and I seldom went to the mall.
Okay.
We don't hang out in the mall. We only go to the mall for movies.
Yeah.
And I know all Bruneians go to the mall. We just didn't like that there are so many people around. We will frequent the food court a lot. So there's this one day, I remember it was 2017 June.
Okay.
June time. The
1.5 years after opening. Yeah.
We were like, hey, let's head on to the mall and check out what's there. So we were strolling through first floor. There was this very small unit. It is so small that we're just like, I was just looking at it and we walked past it.
It's
and
the
Daisy
corner
was
unit on the ground floor near Vinci. And not Vinci, Charles and Keith.
Yes.
Near there, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, Kong, I know.
Yeah. So Daisy was looking at the unit. I was like, hey dear, what are you looking at? Let's move on. They said, what do you think about this unit? So we took a shot at each other and said, ice cream store? Do you think it's okay? And there's a number there. We called the owner and the rental was crazy. It was $1,700.
Oh,
we were like, are you serious? It's such a small place.
I was going to say.
Back then, it was flourishing, the mall. So I was like, okay, let's go back and do some calculation. So Daisy and I worked out, we had enough money, cash, to sustain 6 months. So we thought, these are all the monies that we have generated from our WhatsApp sales, from our Instagram sales.
Basically the ice cream business already, yeah.
So we were like, let's give it a try. If it doesn't work, we could always fall back to our IG and WhatsApp business model, right? So this is going to be our very first scoop shop.
Because we know it works, right?
Yeah. So it works, and we were actually very happy about it. I think it opens the door on September, 3 months later, and then 2 months later we were having another big milestone. We supplied to Supa Save.
Yeah, I definitely want to touch on that later. So hold on to that thought right there. So one thing I want to point out, definitely, I think Tati and I, we would go to the mall to either check out a movie, or if we're out for lunch and we want to get ice cream or dessert, we'll go to the mall. That's the only two reasons we go to the mall. For movies and for Happy Cream. I just want to tell you that right now. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person who made their way to the mall just to get ice cream. Like it's crazy. Now, the other thing as well is that you guys gave yourself a timeline, which I thought was really cool. Because when I decided to quit my day job in the corporate world, I told my mom the same thing, right? Because we're from an Asian family, you know. I remember the disappointment on my mom's face. I was driving down the Brakas Road, and I looked at my mom. I was like, Mom, I think I'm going to quit my job. And she's like, what? And do what? And I think I want to be a magician.
I shouldn't be laughing at it. This is...
So then she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I remember the disappointment on her face. And I said... and so, you know, and I think I just want to coach. I think I just want to do radio. I don't want to do the corporate life anymore. And I just want to see what happens. You know what? Just give me 6 months. Because I said the same thing. Just give me 6 months. If it works out, that's a bonus. If it doesn't work out, I've tried it and I've scratched that itch. Like I'm good. I don't go 3, 5, 10 years down the line wondering what if, right? And I think a lot of people need to know that yes, there's you know, you do have to make that goal, but also you have to be a little realistic to see how long you can pursue that goal for, and when to sort of pull the brakes. You know, so I like that you sort of brought that out, because, you know, it seems like sound advice coming from you guys as well. Like I was like, yeah.
And look at you.
Still struggling to get
3-4 pages of resume. I don't know who you are, Mr. Nazri.
Kong, I'm trying to figure that out myself, my guy. So Kong, okay, so you opened up the store. You know, business is going well. 6 months has passed.
Yep.
You know, business is going well. What then made you decide time to go to store number 2? Because I feel in Brunei, cube shops are an example, right? As soon as we see that little form of success, they were like, all right, 100%, we got to multiply all over the place. You know, we got to make sure we open straight away in 20 destinations across Brunei. But you guys played the long game. You guys were patient. I feel you guys took your time. What made you finally decide, hey, it's time for branch number 2?
We took too long, to be honest, because remember when we first started saying that it's a love story, we wanted to make waffles and ice cream during our weekend so that we can enjoy that as couple.
Yeah.
Right. So it's come to a point that we wanted to do the same thing. We want to offer Bruneians the recipe of waffle that we had, pair up with our ice cream, the brownies that we had, pair up with our ice cream. But we just took too long to do it. We are playing the safe game. Like you say, it's the long game. And I remember you asking me a question during one of the lessons. You said, so Kong, what's next? In class. So I was like, what do you mean by what's next? You mean the next ice cream store? Then you were like, yeah. Like, no, I mean like, what's the next step? So that seriously promised. I told Daisy, Nazri today asked me in the class. He said, "What's next?" I was like, I got started by it because by right, we should ride the wave and keep opening, so that people know that hey, you're coming up, right?
We're here.
You are here, but we did not. Okay. So I think that might have played a little. I don't know, probably pull us a little bit back. But like I said, we are here for 30 years. We want to be here for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
We want you to be eating our ice cream, Amal to be eating our ice creams, your grandchildren to be eating my ice cream. So that is what we had in mind when we first started. So we calm ourselves down and say, let's do it the right way. So same thing, we wanted to find a good location. So we secured that spot right above. It used to be Pustaka Remaja, behind the arch. And I remember going in, looking at the shop. It was empty. I was telling Daisy, I said, first floor, do you think people want to walk up?
Yeah.
I was
if
like,
you told me to jump up, I'd have jumped up as well. I'm telling you right now.
So I said, let's give it a try. Rental wasn't too expensive. It was standard $1,002.
Yeah. It wasn't 1,007.
Yeah, it wasn't 1,007. So we say, hey, why not? Let's try this, right? So that's when we started getting more equipments in, and we even moved our kitchen over there.
Yeah.
So we were making fresh ice cream off the kitchen in the freezer. Customers are getting it the next day.
Yeah.
So that is our main kitchen and storage. And we thought if it doesn't work, it could still be as a kitchen because it's not that expensive, right? And we were wrong on that. So it was booming.
Okay.
I mean, like we had reviews like about waffles, and that is what we are expecting because we love our own waffles. And
the combination is so good.
Yeah. Up to today, I'll be very honest with you. All our recipe has not changed.
That's great, man.
Waffles, ice cream is still the same old recipe.
You guys started adding filter coffee as well, which is a nice touch because I think it's a really nice pairing with the ice cream that you guys have. Yeah. The waffles are like the perfect consistency. Dude, we all know I'm the hidden brand ambassador for Happy Cream. I'm putting it out there, from the sounds of it, the hidden shareholder who are asking you the right questions here.
Do you remember you singing, if we want to come up with our own flavors?
Kong, that idea is still, I want that. Do not offer that to anyone else. I swear, if any of the other ice cream stores offer this to someone else, this idea, I'm going to come
Not
after
yet.
you guys.
I haven't do that because I know the first one is going to be you.
Yeah, awesome. Done deal. So, and you said that it was a little bit of a hiccup for you guys to take it slow. And honestly, I don't think it was. I really feel that you guys took your time, but I think it gave you confidence in taking the right steps. Would that be safe to say?
Yeah. I would say that because ultimately it is. I'm not saying that we are very famous, well known. But that is what we want to do. We want to make sure that you know where to get the best ice cream. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. We can say it.
Yeah, we want you to know that at least if you need to have something of comfort.
Yeah.
So come to Happy Cream.
Yeah. So, all right. So you guys have your branches, which I thought was really cool. And, before that, let me backtrack a little bit. Also, I think even if you took your time, you said that like we should have ridden the wave and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if it's a win or if it's a fail, there's definitely still a lesson learned there. There's always still something we can take away from it, right? Whether it's a win, whether it's a fail. I always feel like, so one of my biggest fails was actually a turning point in my magician career. I was performing for a member of the royal family's birthday. And I went on stage and I started my show and I called a volunteer up. And I was like, I need someone who can take directions really well. And I called up the singer of the band that night because he was singing all these songs in English. And I was like, he obviously can speak English. I want to bring him up on stage. And then I pull him up on stage and I'm like, hey, I need some help, blah, 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 blah. So this was one of those tricks where I had to sort of turn away and give him instructions without looking to aid in the trick. So I was looking away and he was doing, I was telling him all these instructions, telling him to take these things off the table and put them in different pockets and stuff like that. And when I turned back, some of the items were still on the table. And I was like, oh no, something's gone wrong.
Oh no, okay.
So I found out he actually didn't know how to speak English.
Okay.
He just memorized the English lyrics to sing the songs. And I'm like, oh no, this is such a misstep. And then I tried to save it. I did a little pickpocketing routine with him on stage and I sent him off. And as he walked off, he bumped my prop case and everything just went crashing on the floor. Everything spilled out of the box. And I was like, oh no. Oh. The whole room, this was a polo club downstairs. The whole room went silent. And I was like, oh no. So I'm like, there's two things you could do right now. I said, one, say thank you and leave. And two, just go on with the show. So I looked around and I leaned into the mic and I said, so this is awkward. And then everyone started laughing. So we just sort of killed the tension a little bit. I picked up all my props and I went back into the show. I got home, cried. It was one of my first ever magic shows. I got home grumpy the next day. I was sad. Then I told myself, this was one of those moments where if anything could have gone wrong, it went wrong. Like everything could go wrong, it all went wrong. And I said, if I could redeem myself from this moment, I could redeem myself from any show I wanted to that I would ever stumble on in the future. So that really was a turning point in my life for me. So I think even in failures, I think there's always something we can take away from it.
That shows you your magic is real, right?
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. That's going to be the slogan for our ice cream flavor together. Okay, Colin, let me turn it back to you. You mentioned Supa Save a little bit earlier. And I'm sure there's a lot of local startups out there right now wondering, how in the world did you get your product into Supa Save? What was that like? 2 months after opening your first branch, you already were dropping supplies into Supa Save. And within a week or so, you guys needed to restock already. How did this happen? Well,
it came like this is an opportunity that I would never forget, and I have to thank one of the previous ministers who were in there. So they came by our kitchen to visit us because they heard about Happy Cream, and we actually rented a place. So it is like one of the first major visit. They wanted to see how we are doing it, and so we gladly get them in and show them how we are doing it. And the minister then was so helpful. He was so impressed. And I'm saying this with tears because without him, I don't think Happy Cream would be able to go into Supa Save.
Wow.
Reason being, he asked, what do you need from me? I say, we want an opportunity to go into Supa Save because we want to be on the same shelf as Ben & Jerry's, Haagen-Dazs. This is what our ice cream is as good as them. You know, back then, a younger me, we believe that our ice cream is really, really good. So and also we need to get one of our loans approved because that is the only loan that we have been taking out. We use that to buy our containers and stuff. It is not a lot of money. It was $15,000, but I remember we need to ask a loan from one of our family members to support us. So and they did. So we would like to take out the loan. So the next day, literally with the help of the minister, so they get someone to contact us and get all the papers done, and they set up a meeting. This is the power of there. They help us to meet up with the purchaser in Supa Save. So we talked to them, we struck a deal, we brought in samples for them. They are really happy. I think they are probably in a very conflicting position.
I was gonna say, yeah,
because they brought in so many ice cream of their own brand, right? So I mean, like, and they are. I don't think they are ready to support a local brand, because they are doubting our quality. They are doubting, are we able to produce?
Consistency. All
are we
that
able
stuff.
to supply?
Yeah.
And they want their shelf to look empty and things like that. So. So when we made a commitment, we said, yeah, we are able to do that, right? So if you see one of our very first interview, we had to really, when news got that we are supplying to Supa Save, and we are very happy. I believe our friends and families literally went over and get it off the shelf, and so that we have to supply it again and again. And I'll be very proudly saying this to you. We have been supplying since 2017. So it's been good 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Hopefully it goes that way. Yeah.
And I think one of the things that I want to point out here is that belief in your product, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's such an integral part of the hustle.
Yeah.
Right? You said, I believe we make the best ice cream. And
it should be on the same shelf.
I heard genuine belief in that statement that you said. You know, I can, sometimes people say it, but there's that 50-50 feeling, you know what I mean? But I genuinely sense that belief in your product, which I think is very important. Whether it's a service or a product, I think that's one of the things people really need to dial in. Like for me, like I really believe I'm a pretty darn good magician. There are days when I'm meeting other magicians and I'm like, yeah, maybe I'm not that good after all. But as a performer, like I'm pretty damn confident with what I can do as a magician. And I think that's something that really struck out to me. And also when you said that you wanted to be on the same shelves with Ben & Jerry's and Haagen-Dazs, you guys took it to the next step because you guys ended up having your own freezer to yourself. Yeah, and I thought that was like, so when I saw it, I'm like, dang. They got their own stand-up freezer and everything. You weren't even in the freezer where you had to sort of bend over and look in. No, you guys had a stand-up freezer, so everything was eye level. Everything was ready to go, and I thought that was really cool. Yeah. And I was so proud when I saw. I was like, that's my friend's ice cream product right there. You know.
Thank you.
No worries. So one of the things that I love about Happy Cream is you guys really take time to put a personal touch to it. You guys did shakes that your son loves. And you guys added it to the menu, you know. You still do your own deliveries, Kong, which I find crazy, you know, and stuff like that. But I love that it showed that personal human side to the brand, to the company. And do you think that's something that most brands and companies need to look towards? Or is that an important part of business nowadays?
Well, I do it because I like to do it. I like I like to talk to people. I like to talk to my customer. I remember when we started off as vendors in events, I love to tell my customers how we made our ice cream, how we make sure that it is one of the best in the world. And I still do these days. I love to talk to my customers. I will take, I'll remember where they stay, and I'll do deliveries. And I think we also read a lot of successful stories. I think one of them is Mr. Ben from Gymshark.
Okay, yeah.
He is still doing his own packing.
So crazy, huh?
Yeah. So I mean, like, that's down to earth and knowing what's being needed.
Yeah.
So I would love
Gymshark, the brand from the UK, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the biggest now. I think they've got an HQ now. They've got their own gym facility now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
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 So yeah. So you
and
were
I
saying,
say the same thing to you. I think you should start that.
Oh,
yeah. Let's go.
One day.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. And I think it's so cool because it's your business. So you're obviously going to know how it runs. But at the same time, you're at different parts of the business. So you know if there are any sort of shortcomings that need to be addressed. If you know there are things that can be tightened up or be made more efficient.
Yeah.
I think that's always, but also to see a face to the brand, I think it's always going to be a win. You know what I mean? I feel like there's so many social media accounts nowadays for companies that just don't have that human touch. I remember speaking to what would you call this? Like a facility where they do, different like recreational stuff like swimming and sports and all that stuff. And I remember talking to their marketing team, and I'm like, hey, I don't know if you realize, but your Instagram page has no humans in any of the pictures in the last 6-7 months. And I said, people kind of need, this is a place for humans to get together, to work out, to spend time with family.
Okay. Yeah.
I think they need to know that actually happens here. You know what I mean? So and the fact that people can put your face, to the brand, I think is a really nice touch. I think it just makes people more comfortable. They make people trust the brand a little bit more, right?
Yeah, I hope so. I've been always telling my friends, you don't have to be friends with me, but you should buy the ice cream when you're sad.
Yeah.
We really put in a lot of work. I don't think I need to promote my ice cream right here, right now. I think it's more like we are providing the service right now. We are making sure that the quality is there. I think that is one thing that I'm very looking forward. I don't wish to receive any complaints about the quality of our ice cream. And there are a lot of things that I couldn't be getting my hands on. Yeah. So this is the only thing that I hope that we could maintain it.
Okay.
Yep.
So the food and beverage industry it's interesting, right? It's fast moving. It's trend based sometimes as well. Yeah. What are some things do you think someone needs to know before jumping into the food and beverage industry? Or maybe what are some things you wish you knew when you started?
Well, accounts, I think the numbers is important, right? Yeah. I think not only that, I think getting a quality product is very important. I think pricing wise, it's going to come, right? You don't chase the money, you do what is good, and people will trust you and they'll come after your product. I think that is very important. For example, we have been trying out, before COVID, we have been going over to other countries to try the ice cream, not only ice cream, about food and things like that. I realized that Brunei actually has a variety of food. And of course, ice cream, there's a lot. And with the recent opening up of so many ice cream stores. But I feel that quality product is something that we are probably lacking. I'm saying that because, we are trying to compare the food that we have in Brunei and from other countries, right? So that is why we decided to make sure that we have to ensure our quality is always there.
Top notch, yeah.
Top notch. We don't want to, change our ingredients or do something else today, find a replacement. And I don't think that is the way to go. Yeah, and I think pricing, we are able to control that, but it is all about quality product.
Yeah.
And making sure that you have you have good people helping you with that. I think, like what you say, some of the things that you don't know how to do, you're going to pass it on to someone else to do. I think that is something that we are going to learn, and you're going to see a lot of this happening in the real world.
Yeah, for sure. I think we touched a little bit on this just now, and I want to sort of build off this. And I know we've touched on, you know, a couple of things in this area. But what do you think you do, just in case we missed anything? What do you think you do to keep your customers loyal and to keep your customers interested? Is there anything special? I know we've mentioned, you know, the quality is one thing, the emotions, that personal touch. But is there anything we missed out, do you think, or?
Well, you know, we don't do a lot of IG stuff.
Yeah.
We don't do a lot of promotion. But if there is only one thing that I could do, it has to be quality.
Okay.
Because we believe that through the word of mouth, and we are able to pass this along.
Yeah.
I wish we could do more. So this is something that I'm not good at. And we are definitely you're gonna look at, finger crossed, hopefully in the next few months, there's gonna be some change to Happy Cream. Not about the ice cream flavor, but about concepts and stuff.
Whoa, yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Always developing, Kong. Always developing. But it always all starts with the accounts, right? Because we can't decide, you know, what to do, what to develop, or how much we can spend, or how. It all starts down with the accounts. Yeah. I think you're right. You're talking about quality ingredients, people we can hire. Yeah. How can we develop? And it all starts with knowing how much money can we put in, or how much money are we making that we can play with over these next few you know, months or years or decades. I think that's really cool. So Kong, we mentioned it just now. Apart from selling ice cream, you are a business owner for Kumon, the after school program. You're also a science teacher at international school here. You know, I think the question I want to ask you, what are your thoughts? I think everyone by now knows my opinion on it, but what are your thoughts on juggling multiple jobs?
Hustling. I think I'm not chasing money. I don't need that. Of course, everyone needs money, right? But I mean, I'm not going after something that
just for the dollar.
Yeah. I don't live an expensive life. I'm not judging. I'm just trying to help, trying to get my passion going on. My passion is in teaching, so I would love to see how to support my kids going through that phase. Yeah. I said in my kids because I've taught in Singapore for about 4 years before I come back. Then I went on to this school and I see kids and that love came back. I mean, like, I burned out when I was in Singapore, so which is the reason why I came back. We started a business, but the moment I stepped into school, I think the love of teaching came back. I want to see success in my kids. I want to be able to pass on my experiences. Hopefully, those are good experiences. So to let them know that, you know, it is a real world out there. So it is not about, and hopefully my experience in Brunei, like I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a business owner, to show them the real side of the world. Business is all about dollar sign, right? So like what you say, we are adding human touch. We're going to be here for a long time. And how do I juggle with all this? I mean, like, with still family is really important to me. So I was just hustling. Yeah. Getting sacrificing something I used to be able to work out. I think that is a wrong concept. I should put that as my priority, because your body is you should love yourself first before you can look after the rest of the people. Yeah, I think the analogy that that always comes up is in the plane, when there's an emergency, you have to put the mask on yourself before you help the person next to you, right? And I always feel like, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Because I was also thinking, I think one of my priorities is to work out. I think back in the day, it was like, I just want to look like a gladiator. That is my goal, Kong. I just want to look like I can fight wars, you know? But I think nowadays my priorities have shifted, that I work out so I can be healthy enough that I can play with my kid whenever I want to, go for walks with my kid whenever I want to. And I think finding that priority is, one of the things for me. Yeah.
You're doing all these things, Kong. How do you find the time? You've got 3 kids at the moment, one on the way. How do you find the time to not only run 2 businesses, to teach, but also to be a dad, to be a husband? Where does that all come to play?
Well, you have to have a really nice partner to help you out.
Yeah.
Daisy is helping a lot in the house to support what we are doing, what we love to do. And of course, I hired some of very trustworthy person to at the same time managing Happy Cream. Yeah, Daisy also has a team of teachers to support her in Kumon as well. Yeah, and we don't do so much to our kids in terms of education. When I say that, we are not giving them tuition. We are just playing with them. I'm not saying that I don't mind about their results. I do mind, yeah, because I'm a teacher myself.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
and we're Asian parents, Kong.
Yeah.
We're Asian parents, Kong.
I'm not also promoting Kumon, but literally Kumon helped my child to learn on his own. Yeah. So my eldest, he's 8 years old, so he's in year 2. So I've not moved him to my school yet. He's still in a private school in Brunei, a local school. So I think he's enjoying his time here, and he's also doing most of his work. So I think that's more important. I look forward to the walk that I have with him on night. I'm currently doing night walks with him, and I'm looking forward to see him play drum. I think this is something that I want to see him grow in front of my eyes. I think this is the milestones that we parents love to see. Yeah. I think it is.
It all happens so quickly, right?
Yeah. It's like I'm a parent of. I have an 8-year-old child.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine that when I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
So life have definitely slowed down a little. I still wish to be able to do my first pull up with you.
Yeah. We're gonna make that happen.
Yeah, but we will see how it goes, right? Because priority has changed.
Yeah.
If you're gonna ask me, Happy Cream more important or my kids more important? Yeah. I'll tell you it's definitely the kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like
on the mic we'll say the kids.
Yeah,
right?
No, it's I don't want to disappoint my fans in Happy Cream, but we are making sure that things are going on in Happy Cream.
For sure.
We are at the same time ensuring my kids, they are receiving the same thing as what we
the same attention that you guys give to your businesses, you give even more to your kids as well, right? Mm-hmm. And I think, Kong, if we're not thinking about how we can make a business self-sustainable, how we can make a business that can run on its own, I don't think we're doing enough for it yet.
You're right.
And I think that if that's not a goal, it should be a goal.
It should be a goal.
Obviously there are still some jobs out there that require you to be hands-on, all that stuff. I get it. But also, I think for a business, it's always a nice sort of goal to have to make it self-sustaining, self-running, to be able to operate without you having to micromanage or be there, right? Yeah. So I think that's always a nice goal to have. I asked Azhar of Chaps and Rebels this recently in a previous episode. What are your thoughts on the 9 to 5 hindering you from chasing after your side hustle, your passions? Because a lot of people I speak to, they're like, I wish I could do that, but I'm so busy with my job till 5:30 p.m. And what are your thoughts on that, Kong?
Oh, well, it's 9 to 5, right? You have 24/7. You have 24 hours a day. I have 24 hours a day, right? And I really have to say that this is side hustle. Yeah. Simply because there are so many things that you could do. If I'm Nazri, I could coach. Yeah. 9 to 5, I could coach from 5 to 9. Right, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. I mean, that is great. I mean, not only you get to expose to potential clients, we're talking about business opportunities, but we're also looking at things that the ideas that you get from these people. And I really like how you present yourself, because PT, private training, it's probably the way to go in the future, right? Yeah. So not only you get to have private sessions with your customers in terms of how to correctly tell them what to do so that you could build this up, you could lose your weight and things like that. It is about your diet and things like that. So I remember the very first CrossFit sessions, one of the very first you were telling me, it's about the food, it's about coming in, it's about planning. I was like, is that true? I thought it's just coming here to work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so many different things. So I have literally learned a lot from all the CrossFit lessons, and not only in terms of planning, but also in terms of the philosophy behind it. And when you go deeper into it, it is the way of life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
dude, I feel the same way, man. I get it, man. I get it. Now, Kong, with all the success, right? We've got Kumon. You're a teacher, thriving in school, you know. You have Happy Cream, which now has multiple branches across the country. You have your product in stores like Supa Save. Do you ever have moments where doubt creeps in, or moments where you feel a little insecure, or moments where you feel like, I don't know if I'm on the right path? Because I know when people are trying to get on a journey, people who are in the middle of the journey and things get tough, I go through this all the time. I feel like an imposter a lot of the times. I feel like I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. You know, but is that something you ever go through?
well, I think a lot of business would say that COVID really hits them a lot. And I would love to say the same. Yeah, I think it hits all of the business in Brunei. But I think, like what you said, it comes another opportunity. So during COVID, I think there was a point that we were talking about shutting it down because no one is coming out to dine, and nobody would think about ice cream during COVID time.
That was like the least of their like priorities at the time.
And boy, we were wrong, because there were so many requests for deliveries to the point that I had to work with an agency company. We actually started a website.
Yeah.
We recently closed it down because things has gone back to normal.
Okay.
I'm not saying that there's no point to maintain that delivery ordering website, but
majority of people still prefer to eat in-house.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we thought it would be much more. It's easier on the numbers to just get it off. But we are still doing that, right? So you could just WhatsApp us, and we are going back to the old. But during COVID, I think that gives us another opportunity.
Yeah.
So we had that mindset of, should we do it? Should we not do it? And let all this pass on and live it up with the kids and things like that. But luckily, people are still eating ice cream.
Yeah.
So we get to deliver. And of course, that definitely there are times where I think I'm not a number guy.
Okay.
Daisy is definitely the number guy.
Yeah.
So when she would come and tell me, hey, we're approaching the rates this month and things like that. I'm not saying that I don't care about it. I know that we're gonna overcome this. So because Daisy is so sensitive about numbers, so there are times that I need to show her, hey, we are good, right?
Yeah.
But of course, at the back of my heart, I was thinking, what should we do? So there are things that we cannot control, and we just don't. I'm probably a bit stubborn on this, but we are probably gonna work on our IG promotion stuff a little, like to make people know us. But at the same point of time, we are not so wanting to do it.
Yeah.
So it is always contradicting to promote your brand and not to provide promotions and things like that. So Daisy is sensitive on numbers. So those are the times that we would feel dejected.
Yeah.
Like when we know that our money is not doing so well. But hey, look, we have come through all these years, right? So we know we always go back. I always use the same old. We started this because we're in the last in Brunei for 30 years.
Yeah.
So yes, we may be in the reds for this year, but we could always,
come back
and do something about it. It's about change. Is the constant is always changing, right? Yeah. So
I think
change
so.
is the change. No, there's this saying, I forgot. I used to put it under my email signing off. I said the only constant is change.
Yeah, that's true.
So you need to change all the time.
Yeah.
Stick to something that is stick to our business model, but our flavors. But you could definitely do something about it. Probably not now with so many things going on.
Of course.
Or we'll see how it goes in the future.
So Kong, we decided to, with the podcast, so many people, when they're about to go on their journey or where they're in the middle of things, they go through similar emotions. And I want them to realize that, hey, you guys aren't the only ones feeling this. People like you, people like Easy, like Azhar, everyone goes through these motions and these emotions, all the same. So we wanted to do a little surprise for all of our guests, right? Something that if it ever was a moment that you ever feel dejected again, I want you to come back to this moment right here. So I've got something for you. It's on my phone. It's not a physical thing, but hopefully it's an experience that I can share with you.
Okay.
So we, let's see, let me get this on. We reached out to people in your circle. And so that at any point you ever feel dejected again, I want you to come back to this moment. And we asked some people in your circle, how has Kong impacted your life with what he does? So the first person that we got a little audio note from is someone called Aisha. I think you might be familiar with. And this is what Aisha had to say.
Chung Ang and I met when he was working in Singapore back in 2009. He was a passionate teacher and he was hardworking. He was creative too, as he had to make teaching science interesting. When I heard that he was going to sell ice cream, I was initially surprised. Then I remember the enterprising man that he is. I am very proud of him, how far he has come and how well he's doing. I wish him, his family and business nothing but the best.
Yeah.
Support all the way from Singapore, my man.
Yeah, that's I'm from Brunei. I got to Singapore, and the Bruneian in me had to find some local Malay friends, right? So I was trying to speak Malay, and in the school, they are the Malay teachers. So she's one of the Malay learning support teachers in the school, and we have been very close. She is a footballer, she's a golfer, and she herself is a netballer.
Wow.
She is a sport woman, and she has quite a number of siblings, and we became good friends. I was alone in Singapore. I would go to her mom's place for lontong.
Oh yeah.
Something that that is Brunei for me.
Yeah.
If I miss Brunei, I'll go to a place for nasi lemak, lontong. So I'm very Brunei. I just don't know. When I go to Singapore, I'll meet Bruneian friends. I'm so happy to hear her.
Yeah. So we also reached out to another friend of yours. His name's Alwin. And this is what Alwin has to say.
I heard that Kong is doing an interview and I guess needed me to help him boost some confidence, right? Where do I begin? This guy, me and him, we go way back, way when we were just kids, get into punishment together and stuff. But can tell you one thing, this guy, he is always full of confidence, always have the right mindset, and never let anyone down. So keep it up with good work with Happy Cream, and see you soon.
Wow. That you may not know, Happy Cream has a small partner.
Okay.
He is one of them.
Okay.
And all my friends, when we were trying to so this is back in the years where we were trying to get funding, right? We wanted to do this with a group of friends. So I was selling the idea to all my close friends. They didn't reject me, but they didn't say yes. L is the first who wouldn't say anything and just take out some savings. So he's the very first.
Yeah.
And I was very touched. I was like, none of our friends wanted to help.
Yeah.
That time, I thought they didn't believe in us, right? So when you're younger, you had this sort of like a
Ego,
bit of
a little,
ego, negativity.
I get it,
I was
man.
like, okay, they didn't believe in us, probably we are not good enough. So why not wait, right? But L didn't. L came in and he literally supported physically, financially, and he contributed ideas.
Yeah.
He himself right now, he has helped quite a bit of the entrepreneurs out there.
That's awesome.
So we have been. I didn't know that you find him, but we are meeting almost on a weekly basis. My kid call him Uncle L.
Yeah.
My kid will go to his house and my kid will be asking, "Are we going to Uncle Elvin's house today?"
Yeah.
You know, we will stay over and things like that. So yeah.
Our producer, Yaya, she was helping make that all happen today.
All right.
So we then reached out to one last person.
All right.
I could say your business partner and your partner in life. So Daisy had this to say about you.
Hi, I'm Daisy. Kong and I have been together since secondary school. He used to tell people that I trick him into making ice cream, but really Happy Queen wouldn't be here without Kong. So looking forward to many more good years to come. And I love you, Kong.
Wow. What does it feel like to sort of hear from your close circle, to hear this is how they think about you and the business and the things that you do?
Well, we don't say this all the time,
Yeah.
you see. So if you didn't ask them, we wouldn't be talking about, because every time we meet, it would be like, you know, hey, how's life? You know, I would say, hey, all good. We don't talk about numbers in front of them. We don't talk about what the struggles they were going through, right? Yeah. Like my kid fall down today. He had a bump. I need to bring him to the hospital. I feel bad about it because it's my fault. I was looking at my phone and things like that. So these are the everyday struggles that I would have. And yeah, it's really nice to hear them. And thank you very much for looking out for me. I think, thank you.
Yeah, not a problem at all. We just wanted to give you a reminder that, you know, if there are any moments that you ever feel dejected, that there are at least 3 people here who are in your corner, who are, and another 3 more here in the studio, that are just ready to sort of like step up for you, man. You know, to know with what you're doing, like we believe in the stuff that you do. So
thank you.
Daisy also sent us something. I don't know. The audio is a little muffled on this one. I don't know if you can kind of hear that. Do you know what that is? So she sent us that and she said this.
And here's a surprise for him, the heartbeat of our 4th baby.
That was the heartbeat of you.
Yeah. She I think she went for a checkup today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah. So she
told me there was no ultrasound, so she lied to me.
So she decided to just surprise it with you.
All right.
On the mics today.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kong. So we just want you to know that if any moment you feel these sort of things, these sort of vibes, you know, I just want you to remember this moment that, hey, there's a posse around you, man. There's a crew that you can trust on that can step up whenever you want. So I've told you this before, Kong. The goal of this podcast is to be a database for people who are going on similar journeys or who are thinking about, you know, pulling the trigger to take on a journey of their own. And I want this to be a database that people can look on 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now, because I really feel the stories here and the advice that people like you give are evergreen. So if you could leave someone with one tip, someone who's either about to start their journey or are already in the thick of things, what would it be?
Well, it would definitely be go for it. Like, I like the way that I think about things, that if you don't try, you never know what's going to happen in the future, right? So you at least going to give it a try. But if it fails, it fails. You can always fall back to something else, right? Which is the same mindset like you're telling your parents about giving you the 6 months, right? Yeah. So I think that is because it takes a lot of courage to make the very, very first step. Once you have done that, I would say that it is 50% successful. Yeah. So making the first leap. Daisy and I made the first leap by quitting our jobs. I think that is something that many of us in the current situation would not do that. I wouldn't say that we are very much supported by our family. When we decided to do that, we was like, okay, let's see how it's going to be. Yeah. If we couldn't work it out, I'll go back to teaching. Yeah. Yep. So that is my fallback plan.
Yeah.
But I do understand that not many people have a fallback plan. So I think it would be even better if you don't have a fallback plan because you will work 100% on your idea.
Oh my gosh, this is what I tell everyone.
Yeah.
Like Nas, like, why do you still keep doing this? I was like, because I have no choice now. I have to make this work. I have no choice. I've enjoyed this freelance life. I don't think I could ever go back to a regular 9 to 5 behind a desk anymore.
Yeah.
I have no choice but to make it work. Kong, you're obviously making it work. We want to say thank you so much.
Thank you. It's my
for
pleasure.
joining us on the podcast. And we can't wait to see the Najee Presents collab with Happy Cream happen in the future.
Well, I would love to see ice cream pints on the tables instead of coffee cups.
We got to make that happen.
Yeah.
Season two?
Yeah.
Kong, thank you so much, my guy. That's it, brother. We're done.
Thank you.